Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the national team of Antigua Barbuda and Cuba for the end of the pitch.
Wherever you are taking our coverage on Flow Sports 2, welcome to a bright and sunny afternoon here in Kingston, Jamaica for Concacaf Caribbean Women's Football Qualifiers, the continuation. So after two brilliant games on the opening day on Saturday, where Jamaica thrashed Antigua and Barbuda by 9-0 and Trinidad and Tobago beat Cuba by 3-2, it's round number 2. We remind you, 5 teams battling for 3 spots to go to the USA October 4 to 17 to battle for spots to the World Cup finals in France come next year. You join us just in time to look at the two combatants at the moment. It's Cuba on the right of screen against Antigua on the left of screen. We're going to pause now for the national anthem of Cuba. Apologies, the national anthem of Antigua and Barbuda. Having heard the national anthem of Antigua and Barbuda, let's now pause for the national anthem of Cuba. The national anthem there of Cuba, and the Cubans wearing their changed full blue stripe today with a little sprinkling of red and white colors of their national flag, and they're operating this afternoon as the home team, and that is why they're in the national colors of their country at the moment. The Antigua and Barbuda team, the away team, so they've changed strip from red and black from Saturday and now sporting gold and black. So they're meeting the officials, and shortly we'll be giving you the team news. The Cubans assembled for a team photograph, and of course the Antigua and Barbuda team doing likewise to the left of screen. So the pre-game formalities are going to be out of the way in a short time. In the meanwhile, let's look at the lineups for you. Antigua and Barbuda, they've made one change coming into this, and the change is Kanika Buckley in number 7, and she replaces Lakeisha Samuel, so a defensive midfielder for a central midfielder coming in. That's the only change in this Antigua and Barbuda team that was really beaten badly on Saturday evening here in Kingston. So the captains is doing the toss to decide which direction in which they're gonna go first, and the captain of the Cuba team, your lady Mina Novo, the team, the officials will be in charge of the game today, and we should have an outstanding game here, because these two teams now know, having lost their opening game, would have to come back if they want to stay in touch. Now, the Cubans have made 4 changes, and of course the goalkeeper, Lucilina Martinez, she comes in place of Catherine Montesino, who was the goalkeeper on Saturday. Olinse Arbate is out Also out is Carella Fuentes, and one of the goal scorers, Jennifer Lopez. And those coming in, Martinez, of course, is a goalkeeper. Yalin, of course, the defensive midfielder. And also coming in is Yerenisli Gonzalez and Marquez Laura Moreno, who came in on Saturday and looked really, really, really brilliant. And it's not a surprise that we've got a change. So Tatiana Guzman in the whistle. And of course, she'll be handling the game this afternoon, just making sure that everybody's operating from the same hymn sheet. And she looks around, survey her options, well, survey the field to make sure that her assistant, she looks left, looked right, and now she tells us that she's just about to put that yellow whistle to her mouth once again to get us underway here. A very cool afternoon at the moment, not a great deal of breeze or wind if you prefer, and the players should enjoy this kind of condition here this afternoon. So Antigua and Barbuda, right of screen, playing in the black and yellow strip, and Cuba clearly on the opposite half of the field. You're watching on Flow Sports 2. We remind you that a little later on this evening at about 7 o'clock Jamaica time, it will be Jamaica against Bermuda who will be making their bow in this competition. So we're underway here at the National Stadium in Kingston with Cuba getting us on the way, and in the middle of the park just choking the ball around. This is Marquez Loriana, who came in as one of the substitutes on Saturday and did so well. She impressed the coaching staff to get a starting spot this afternoon. So the early goings, and Cuba starting very lively, looking to settle very quickly as well. This is Zerlin getting a start this afternoon as well. Yeah, she's in the number 13. Quickly brings Laura into the action. This is another player who had a good game on Saturday, Maria Isabel Torres. The first feel of the football from Nikisha Samuel with a nightmarish kind of performance on Saturday. Clearly hoping for a much better showing here this afternoon. And the battle cry here is, at the very least, for both teams, don't lose, because then you fall so far behind in such a short tournament where 3 will go through. It's going to be difficult, not impossible, to get one of those 3 spots. So first and foremost, I suppose the teams are set up that way, and the Antiguans, they're applying the high line. If you look at their defensive unit, it's come really, really high. They played this against Jamaica on Saturday night and were really, really put to the sword. And this Cuba team has a great deal of players in it who are good touch players and can exploit this Antiguan defense if they're not sturdy, alert, and resolute. Free kick won by the Antiguans over on the far side. Of course, we know you join us all the time, so if you're just turning on your television sets, and if you're just coming over from watching Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur, not a good result if you're a fan of Manchester United. They were beaten 3-0. Double strike coming from Lucas Moura. Here's Antigua, trying to get the first real attack of this game going. The lanky number 4, Ariane White, who didn't have, well, she was one of the better Antiguan players on Saturday night. And they'll be looking to her tonight, this afternoon rather, to at the very least put in a similar performance. And if she should go a step further, that would be more appreciated. Brianna Humphrey with a throw. White going in that time, but found the Cuban captain, Minea Lovo, a little bit too much there to handle. Now Cuba sets off with a counter-attacking move. And Perez playing the ball down the right channel. And the ball is played behind Perez, but Alvarez looked to benefit from it. Mora also coming in and kicked over just in front of referee Guzman, who was awarded a free kick to Cuba. And they'll take it quickly. Good move here. Nice turn. Turn right into one of the Antiguan players. Now Cuba will try to do it again. In fact, offside. A quick reaction. A good call there from the referee as well. Clearly offside, not even marginal. And for sure, Iranis Gonzalez thought she had gotten in. I was on her way to confronting Nikisha Samuel in the Antigua and Barbuda goal. Rachel Palais Ellis So early days yet in this opening game on day 2 of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifier. Watching us live on Flow Sport 2. There's a great deal to come on the various Flow channels. Here's Cuba with a chance. And under a bit of pressure there was the number 8 Perez. Still managing to get a shot off. But good work there from Karen Warner in defense for Antigua and Barbuda. And of course, Flow Sports have the UEFA Champions League this year as well. And the group qualifiers are qualifiers to get into the group stages proper. Continues on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. IK Athens out of Greece will take on Videoton. And that game to be shown on Flow Sport 1. And it's 2 o'clock in the PM Jamaica time. 3 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time. And then on Wednesday, August 29, it will be PSV Eindhoven from Holland against Bate Barislav. And that will also be on Flow Sport 1. Same 2 o'clock Jamaica time, 3 o'clock in the PM Eastern Caribbean time. As we go along, we'll be giving you a bit more of what we have to offer on the Flow Sports channel. In the meantime, let's get back to the action on the field. Perez trying to open the space there for the number 7 player, Maristania Menangaga, who got a late goal for Cuba on Saturday against Trinidad and Tobago. That gave them a glimmer of hope, just that it came a bit too late. In fact, 8 minutes before the end, she got that goal, and the Cubans just couldn't find an equalizing goal, which would have been a very good result for them, because they fell 3-1 down with 72 minutes gone in the game. Here's Cuba, operating over on the far side. The ball is in the middle of the park. This is Laura. Very good midfield player, good vision as well, nice passing range as well. This time the ball didn't get by the Antigua and Barbuda number 12, Brianna Humphreys. But Perez in possession. Trying to play the give and go here. Cubans fortuitously get that possession. And Samuels alive and alert to the happenings. Looks a bit more confident than she did on Saturday night. Why wouldn't she? Here they come again, the Cubans. That's Brianna. The sliding tackle there from Humphrey. Here's Cuba, having much the better of the possession early in the piece. Nice floating, looping ball to Mengana. Mengana had 2 passing options, and here's a long-range effort. Just whistling past the left up right. Not a bad strike there from Maria. Perez Torres. Samuel got caught up in the net in her attempt to keep that one out of the goal. Mind you, it didn't really threaten. As you look at it there, it whistled past the left upright, but Samuels threw herself right across to make sure any danger at all that was lurking in that attempt would have been cut out. Approaching 8 minutes in this opening game on day 2. Cuba in blue, and the Antigua Barbuda team still waiting on the opening goal in both games on Saturday after 3 minutes. We had a goal already. Here's a good move. Chance here for Cuba. Perez! The Cubans are off the mark. On minute number 8, Perez picking up a through ball. Ran brilliantly onto it. Picked her spot. Samuels was beaten. And the Cubans are in front. Just as I was wondering when we were going to get the first goal, it arrived on minute number 8. And it came from a player who had a good game on Saturday night. And she's picked up from where she left off and has given Cuba the lead in this game. 1-0 to Cuba. So Perez Torres, look at that ball. Wonderfully played in. And it left the Antigua and Barbuda number 3, Nicola Stewart, a mere spectator. Wonderful pass. Here's your goal scorer. Trying to make a pass of her own. Didn't come off the way she would have wanted. Another attempt there. And the Antigua Barbuda captain, Portia Davis, standing in the way of that pass. But here's Cuba, buoyed by that goal. Notice a bit more life in their step as they go forward. This is Gonzalez. Now Cuba almost trying to turn on the style. I'm tempted to say that, but it's hardly their intention at this stage of the game. This is a captain. Nia Nuvo. No, it's Antigua's time to attack. Let's see how they respond to this. Going behind. They've got a corner. First corner of the game. And it will be struck from the far side. This is a new Cuban goalkeeper, Lucilene Martinez Rodriguez. Wearing the same colors of the goalkeeper she replaced, Catherine Montesino. So the Antiguans have thrown bodies forward, 3 of them inside the area, 2 lurking just on the edge, and another top of the D. That's Brianna Humphrey. There's a corner, a low wall and a chance. Here's still Antigua with a chance. Did that go across? No, it didn't. Wonderfully held there by Lucilene Rodriguez. So Antigua showing that they mean business, coming very close on that occasion. So the game is simmering. Cuba now know they can't settle on this 1-0 advantage. Desmond Ghana, the number 7. 1 goal so far in the tournament. Well behind 2 players so far who have bagged hat-tricks. Let's have a look at the corner once again. It was low, but still good enough for Antigua and Barbuda to try and capitalize. So the corner was taken by Jadine Brown. The first attempt was by Damalis Simone Pente, and then eventually the captain Portia Davis tried to stuck that one in. The Cuban defense would have none of it. Here they are, Perez. Player give and go there with Rachel Ellis. Here they come again, the Cubans. Pushed over in the area. Here's a chance of Cuba. And Samuels. Looking a bit suspect, but still managing to effect that save. Ellis limps away. Took a slight knock in that area. Might draw the attention of the medical personnel from Cuba. Not showing any interest in it just yet though. Seems to be okay. Zaylin. And Ghana giving the ball away to her opposite number, Kanika Buckley. Now here's the number 10 for Antigua and Barbuda, Jadine Brown. Just giving the ball away needlessly, unnecessarily. It's basketball terminology, that's a turnover. This is Alvarez, Jessica Alvarez, number 4. Had a good game for Cuba on Saturday. Captain Mina Luvo. Long searching ball. And Ghana using her pace to good effect. But keeping pace with her, Karen Warner. A timely interception. She's given up a corner. So the second corner of the game. 1 to Cuba. 1 to Antigua and Barbuda. And coming across to effect this corner is Rachel Palais Ellis. Take a short. Ningana. Back to Ellis, who nicely floats the ball in the area. Comes back to Ellis. But Ariane Brown is right there to collect and lead this forward thrust by Antigua and Barbuda, which is quickly cut out. Cuba controlling this vital midfield area, mainly because of this lady, Laura. Goes Cora Perez. Now Mangana, seeing a lot of the football since the start of this game. Still Mangana has a chance to shoot, no decides against it, and plays it into Rachel Ellis Palais. And the ball falls sweetly for Samuel, who collected on the second time of asking. Damali Ponte forced back. Laura has Perez in front of her. Uses that outlet. No, this is Mengana. A chance for 2-0 to Cuba. Oh, how did she miss that one? She had Samuel and the goal at her mercy. And she kicked wide. Let's have a look at it again. This is Perez. The defense splitting pass. Wonderfully played in for Mengana. Under pressure, Antigua Barbuda to get the ball away from their area. Now they're doing so quite beautifully. Simon Ponte leading that charge out of defense. This is Alvarez. Rodriguez. Captain Mina Novo. Warner. There's Cuba once again. And Ghana's attempted pass cut out. But no sooner they lose the football, they're back in possession, Cuba. Antigua Barbuda yet to register a shot and goal. And we've played quarter of an hour in this game. Perez. Mengana. Rachel Palais Ellis. No, this is Laura. Long range effort. Well off target. So an inquisition in the Antigua and Barbuda defense, led of course by the Vika Tittle, trying to arrange things. Your picture just below our screen, at the foot of the screen, is the Cuban head coach, Reniel Bonora Peneva. Here's Captain Davis. Brown. Nice give and go. Just now needs to keep control of this football. Still Brown. Lanky player. Still Brown. Made very good progress before she was stopped by Captain Nina Novo. And now suddenly the Cubans are counter-attacking. This is Mengana. Laura. Nice pass with the outside of the left boot. But met there by the Vika Tittle. There's Captain Davis. The ball played behind the Cuban defense. But Nina Novo has done well to get back to it and to keep possession until ball is into touch for Cuban free kick. Referee Guzman almost right there on spot. And Nina Novo was pushed, hence the free kick. Here's the Antigua and Barbuda head coach, Vincent Samuel. Zylin with the throw. Perez took a knock in the back from Davis. Nothing to alert the attention of referee Guzman. The play continues with Cuba in possession via Perez. Still Cuba. This is Mengana. And to flick the ball over the head of the outstanding Karen Warner. Didn't quite come off. So they try again. Mengana. Rachel Palais Ellis running off this one. Still keeping possession. Good tackle there coming in from Warner. It's proving to be one of their stalwarts in the back. Karen Warner. There she is wearing the number 2. Sailing. Good cross. Antigua though dealing with it very well. It's Captain Davis. Much better from her this afternoon. Almost went missing on Saturday evening, but now she's standing in the middle of the park and playing her role. A bit more visibility from the captain, Portia Davis. Famous name here in Jamaica, Portia. A former Prime Minister, the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller. Free kick to be taken by Brianna Humphrey. Number of Antigua and Barbuda players have gone forward. Throwing to Antigua and Barbuda, deep inside the Cuban half. Khadija Proctor, who scored an own goal, the last goal in the 9-0 beating down by Jamaica on Saturday, wearing the number 14. She's decided to leave it alone. Nicola Stewart with the throw. Referee Kujman says it's a foul throw. Haven't seen that in a long while. Well, not true. We saw it on Saturday from Manchester City player. Name escapes me at the moment. Actually throw the ball from inside while on the field. Nice give and go here for Antigua and Barbuda. Could be trouble for Cuba. Here is Brown. Her weak and feeble shot went perilously close. Past the right upright. Better execution probably could have brought about a much better result. Look at that. Didn't settle herself before executing. Maybe had she done that, the shot would have at the very least been on target. And even so, Martinez was scrambling, so who knows? Here's Portia Davis. Palais Ellis. It's a good return pass. Here's Cuba on the attack once more. Silene! And Lillian Sandoval in the end with that shot from the left side of the field. Just sailing over goalkeeper Samuels' cage. Not many teams like to play at this time of day here in the Caribbean, but neither team can complain. The conditions are beautiful. No strong wind to interfere with the direction of the football when it is played, and there's no sun whatsoever to deal with either. It's just a perfect afternoon for these two teams. Mora with the pass. Skipping away there. Brilliant. Perez. Mengana was the target. Not sure if Perez was expecting Mengana to run into the position, while Mengana was hoping that Perez would play the ball in her direction. But in the end, they got their lines of communications mixed up. Let's see if they can get it better this time. No. Perez giving the ball away again. Seemed like ages since Perez scored that opening goal in the 10th minute. And she is so far the difference between Cuba and Antigua and Barbuda in this, the third game in the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers here in Kingston, Jamaica. Bermuda, Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, the other teams in this qualifier, and 3 teams will come out of it. Comes to a grand climax next Sunday, September 2. At the moment, Jamaica leading the group on goal difference over Trinidad and Tobago. Zaylin. Perez. Portia Davis, the captain, just coming back up. Mengana getting a piece of the football. And Karen Warner, the ever-present, standing in the way of Mengana. She was kicked over and free kick awarded to Antigua and Barbuda. So I'd just like to say especially to the fans over in Antigua and Barbuda watching this game, and of course those in Cuba as well, and generally to our viewers on Flow Sport 2. Iranis Gonzalez, number 18 for Cuba, getting a free kick, and Alvarez is coming across to strike it. Plays it across to Zaylene. There's a captain, Mina Novo. Suddenly Perez in the number 8. Just imagine how many touches of the football Perez has gotten since the start of this game. We've gone 24 minutes, but she probably would have touched the ball, I would say, probably 30 times already. Here she's again on it. And Mengana, I suppose, would have the similar number. Here's a good cross. A chance for Cuba to make it 2-0. And guess who was arriving on the spot to rifle that in the back of the net for Cuba? Lilian Perez. So they now lead by 2-0. The second goal coming in minute number 25. And the Cubans have opened up this Antigua Barbuda defense for a second time, appearing on the far side, benefiting from a cross from Mengana. Was Lilian Perez Sandoval. Good cross, pinpoint accuracy, and Sandoval appearing on the doorstep of Samuels' goal and made no mistake. So Antigua and Barbuda trailing after 25 minutes by 2-0. So a concession of goals on minute 10, minute 25. Portia Davis, the captain. So 11 goals in a game, in one game and 25 minutes. Antigua and Barbuda. Something they've got to address. The concession of these many goals in a tournament of this nature. This is Perez. She's caused a great deal of problems for this Antigua and Barbuda team, especially down on the right channel, working in tandem with, at times, Zaylene. But her partner in crime is the number 7, Mengana. And they have worked to deadly effect for this Cuba team on the right channel, which is something I'm sure Coach Vincent Samuel might want to zone in on when he gets a chance to have a chat with his players at halftime. But I suppose he'd do well to do it now, because most of the Cuban attack have come from the right channel. Yeah, well, staying in the offside position there was Jadine Brown. So it's as good a time as any to look at some of the offerings on the Flow Sports channel. September 1. Of course, this is coming Saturday. Leicester versus Liverpool at 7:30 in the morning. And that will be on Flow Sport 1. Then the 10 o'clock games, Chelsea versus AC Bournemouth at 10 o'clock in the morning, also on Flow Sport 1. I'll continue to give you the games as we go along. This is Perez in the middle of the park, trying to play a defense-splitting pass. The ball gets to Mengana. She cuts. Thought about a shot. Decides though to tee it up. And from just inside the area, the lady who put Cuba 2-0 up had a chance there to get a second for herself. Just didn't make it tell. Let's have a look at it again. Good move there by Mengana. Nice feet. And right inside the area there was Sandoval. And just kicking over the bar. That really should have been 3-0 for the Cubans. So continuing with the games on Saturday, Everton versus Huddersfield Town. And that will come your way at 10 o'clock in the morning. Then the last game on Sunday is at 12:30. It's Manchester City, the champions, against Newcastle United. Game to be played at the Etihad. And that starts at 12:30 p.m. That will be on Flow Sports 2. So Everton, Huddersfield Town at 10. And Man City versus Newcastle at 12:30, both on Flow Sports 2. Then on Sunday, it's Cardiff City versus Arsenal, to be played in Wales. There's Mina Nova having to do some defensive work. Did she allow it to go across for a corner? Yes, she has. So another corner to the Antigua and Barbuda team, their second of the game. So that will be on Flow Sport 2, Cardiff versus Arsenal at 8:30 on Sunday morning, and Burnley versus Manchester United on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock on Flow Sports 1. We repeat them as we go along. We want you to be familiar with the times and the games and which of the channels you can find them on. In the meantime, let's have a look at this Antigua and Barbuda corner. Struck nicely in a packed 18-yard area. Now Cuba getting away. It's 4 against 1. Now the Cuban attackers are swarming down the park. The momentum has been lost, but they still have possession of the football, and a wonderful ball played in to Mengana. Still, Rachel Ellis-Paez. And Samuel in the right place at the right time, just falling down at that one. Had a bit of power behind it, but did well to keep it alive. Mengana has a bit of skill. Unselfishly, just playing it into her star number 10, Rachel Palais-Ellis. So we're on the half-hour mark, and those 2 goals very, very crucial and important for the Cubans, who are in possession of the football through Laura. Here they come again, Cuba. Sandoval. Laura reigns supreme in this middle of the park. She's in control of this vital midfield area for Cuba, sometimes even unchallenged. Mengana. These two are creating problems for Antigua and Barbuda. Perez and Mengana. And you would not be I would not be surprised to see Coach Vincent Samuel addressing this, because this is where the problems are for Antigua and Barbuda. Throw-in to be taken by Zaylen. Good work there from Nicola Stewart. Captain Davis robbed of the ball. Ellis. Still Ellis. She gets it back fortuitously. Now Laura. Sandoval. Ellis. They're walking through this Antigua and Barbuda defense like hot knife through butter. Here they are. Sandoval. And her... that was perilously close. Didn't look that way initially, but it got very close to Samuels' goal. Not sure if she knew exactly how close that was. Let's have a look at it again. This is Perez. That's the opening goal. So looking at the goals again. And this one, here's Sandoval appearing on the far side. So those are the 2 goals. Could have been a third, even a fourth. Throw into Cuba. Totally dominated this game so far, Cuba. Antigua and Barbuda spending most of their time trying to keep them away from their defensive area. It's rare when they go forward. It's Cuba's ball again. Vincent Samuel, coach of Antigua and Barbuda. Can't be happy with what he's seen so far. He's got about 12 minutes or so to have the opportunity of talking things over with his ladies or his players. This is Alvarez. Gonzalez. Uranis Gonzalez. To the other Gonzalez in the Cuban team, that's Lisandro. Free kick. This is Uranis Gonzalez and Lisandro Gonzalez in the number 2. Ellis skips away. Has a number of passing options. She plays it to Laura. And now goes for the shot. Free kick won by Cuba. Foul was committed. No, it's a corner. Took a deflection. The shot took a deflection. And behind for a corner. It's another looping shot. Samuel. Palms on ball. Now Antigua looking to attack. But in control here is Lisandro Gonzalez. Gets a quick return. And now we'll start the Cuba attack. Zylene, the number 13, standing all by herself on the right channel. And just choking nicely the ball around on this lush green stadium surface here in Kingston. Good sharing of the football from Cuba. There they come. So Gonzalez, the shot. Trying to hold that one, Samuel. And had to parry. It's a good long-range effort there. So the Cubans have another corner to be struck from the near side, just below our commentary point. Have a look at this. A shot would look as if it had absolutely no trouble in it. And Cuba has a corner. So here are the two players who have caused the most problems for Antigua and Barbuda. And Ghana. And Perez. Chance for Cuba. Was it that Perez was looking to lob the goalkeeper? Or was that a deliberate pass to Alvarez, who got the final touch on it? Hurrying back to her defensive position. Has to go down at a chance. Antigua and Barbuda. Just motoring forward. Milam Nova, the captain. So Antigua and Barbuda have been out hustled in midfield. Laura, the number 20, is pretty much having things her own way. Goalkeeper Rodriguez. Coaching staff. Not sure what happened to Montesino, who kept on Saturday. Could be anything, could be an injury. Maybe they're not happy with the way she performed on Saturday. The fact the way she's on the bench for this encounter. And so far, Rodriguez has not done badly. In fact, she's not been called upon to do a great deal. But for what it's worth, she's held her own. Cola Stewart. Horrid clearance. There's no need for that. She was all alone with possession. So needlessly giving possession now to Cuba. Not that they need it from Antigua, because they've been utterly dominant in this game so far. It's Karen Warner under pressure. Couldn't turn to bring the goalkeeper into the action. So close was Gonzalez to her. Had no option but to kick it into touch for a Cuban throw. Here they come again, Cuba. This is Sandoval, who got Cuba's second goal. This is Mora, wonderful player, good vision, nice passing range as well. And then Ghana for once putting her foot wrong, and it was the right foot, the one that she's used to deadly effect so far this afternoon. she's human. I suppose she's shown that just now. It's a wonderful pass. Good 15, 18-yard pass from Mora in the middle of the park for Cuba. This is Brianna Humphrey. The change that Antigua Barbuda has made for this game. It does look good in the middle of the park for Antigua Barbuda. Just from time to time she's in the middle of the park, and the next moment she's in defense. Mora, how many times have we called her name? It says something about her display in this game, doesn't it? We've called this name a lot as well. Mengana. 1 goal so far in the tournament. Ellis. Bit of trickery. Sandoval. Almost kicking the ball into her own net this time was Devika Tittle. It's a corner to Cuba. Ball was teed up there for Iranis Gonzalez. But Tittle, in trying to get the ball away from Gonzalez, succeeded in getting it over the bar, almost conceding an own goal. This is Sandoval, one of the Cuban goal scorers. It's a battle of the heads in that 18-yard area. Look how far the captain has come. Nina Lova can't get back. Well, she's getting back. Can she get back quickly enough, though? Because Antigua and Barbuda on the attack. Jaylene Brown. Nice give and go. Does Brown have the legs to get there? More than. She brings Damali, Simon Ponte in. So Captain Mina Luvo proving more than equal to the task. Wonderfully done there. Mengana, brilliantly done. Now she has the freedom of the National Stadium field. She can do whatever she wants. What will she do? Trying to play in Perez. Well, the ball was cut out there by Brianna Humphreys. Cuba has it again. No surprise, it's Mengana. And no surprise, she was trying to find Perez. The assistant referee on the near side, Melissa Snedden. And over on the far side is Lydia Ayala Di Quia from Nicaragua, Canada, and El Salvador. And the fourth official, Maurice Keat, who worked as an on-field official on Saturday night, is the fourth official. So we're closing in on the end of the first 45 minutes in this game. Just about 3 or so minutes to go. Didn't have a great deal of stoppages, so might just see at the very best or the most 2 minutes. Humphrey. Cut out by Mora. Damali Simon Ponte. And trying to playing Kanika Buckley. So the Cubans are stroking the ball around. They know they're close to half-time. Just trying to protect what they have and come back for it in the second half. Maybe not. They're looking for a third, and they're in on it. Here they are. Still Gonzalez, a chance. This would be a brilliant goal if she should put it in the back of the net. She ran past the 3 players. Sandoval showing a great deal of skill in running almost half the length of the field and just failing to put the final touch on that one. That would have been an absolutely brilliant goal. What a solo effort there from Sandoval to crown this first 45 minutes. Here's Laura. Gonzalez. Lisandro. So just to remind you that on Flow Sports 1, a little later on, you may want to switch over and have a look at the second game of the doubleheader on day 2. It's Jamaica versus Bermuda. Bermuda playing their first game of the tournament. These two teams you're looking at now, it's their second game of the series, and Jamaica will have their second as well. The team resting today is Trinidad and Tobago. They are on 3 points. Humphreys just running back. Got to be alert because Perez was right behind her. I'm not so sure if she knew. Here's Perez looking for Mengana. Just a bit too much weight on that pass. The idea was good. The execution almost. But a bit too much weight on it. Didn't get to Mengana. So Alvarez in defense for Cuba. Comfortable 2-0 lead they have at the moment, Sporting. And Mengana is behind the Antigua Barbuda defense. She plays it in. Ah! That was as easy as Ellis would want it. So Cuba, despite scoring 2 goals already, have been very wasteful. By the same token, look at this. Mengana has been very, very unselfish. There have been occasions in which she really could have gone for it. She has played this on a plate for Ellis. Corner to Cuba. We're now into added time. Didn't see on the fourth official's display board how many minutes to be added. Not that she has to. And we've come to the end of the first 45 minutes with Cuba leading by 2 goals to 0, and it really could have and should have been more. But I'm sure as comfortable as their coach is with the performance in the first half, he'll be the first to tell them when they get inside that dressing room that really this game could have and should have been put to bed already. So Cuba, at the end of the first 45 minutes, leading this contest by 2 goals to 0. Let's go for a break. Welcome back to the National Stadium here in Kingston, Jamaica. The sun is back with us. And of course, so are the two teams after having a talk about what happened in the first 45 minutes at the break in their respective dressing rooms. And Antigua and Barbuda, they're trailing Cuba by 2-0, and they will get us on the way in the second half. So welcome to our viewers on Flow Sports 2. We're on the way for the second half of the third game of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. Just to bring you up to date, the Cubans took the lead on minute number 10. Maria Isabel Perez Torres, she got the opening goal. And then, of course, Lilian Perez Sandoval got the second 15 minutes later. That's on minute number 25. In truth, the Cuban really got a number of other easy scoring opportunities and missed some of them from in front of the 6-yard area and so on. Now let's see what Antigua and Barbuda will do on Saturday night when they were beaten by Jamaica. They showed great heart and resilience in the first 10, maybe 15 minutes of the second half and threatened a comeback, but it didn't happen. So let's see if they can reproduce that kind of form, if only for the early stages of this game, and then take it from there. So here's Cuba, though, back with possession through their inspirational leader, Nina Luvo. Long searching ball. Still a Cuba. Perez, one of the goal scorers. Ah, wonderfully done. And Samuels was right there. Another wasteful opportunity there for Cuba. I was looking across at the assistant referee, but there was no flag. That was the only rationale that the striker could have given for not putting that one in the back of the net. And shortly, Antigua and Barbuda will be making a substitution. And let's see what they'll be doing. The number 17, Jessica Hall, will be inserted. And now the substitution is to be made. So Jessica Hall is going to be coming on for Antigua and Barbuda. In the meantime, you're looking there at the Vika Titel. And the board is up for the substitution. Let's see who will be leaving the field. Okay, so we have spotted Khadija Proctor, who got an own goal on Saturday night. So Jessica Hall, there she is onto the field, and Khadija Proctor is off. Get a restart with a Cuban throw. Gonzalez of the Lissandra variety. Here's the other Gonzalez, and the shot was going astray. But no chances there, Nicola Stewart. So from one Gonzalez to the next. Here's Palais Ellis. Rachel Ellis. Sandoval. Free kick to Antigua and Barbuda. Ball was handled there by Sandoval. Perez going for her specialty. So it's a defense splitting pass. Didn't quite work out. And now the captain, Nina Luva, takes up the role as attacker-in-chief. Ellis going for a long-range effort. The pace of the ball taken off by Nicola Stewart and ultimately goalkeeper Samuel. Substitute Hall is getting her first touch of the ball. This is Mengana, hardly her first touch of the ball. She's seen the football pretty much every other second. Still Cuba with possession. With a throw over on the far side. to Mina Luva, the captain. Looking for passing options, beckoning her players to make the options for her. Laura has no such problems. Her problem was that was overhit. Well, the idea was good. Sandra Moya, Gonzalez Moya was free. So if this result holds, the Antigua and Barbuda team will remain on 0 points from 2 games. We're still some way away from the end of this game, and a great deal can happen. Free kick taken too quickly for referee Guzman's liking. Iranis Gonzalez. This is how it came about. Mora flicking the ball over the head of one player, and Captain Portia Davis would have none of it. He stopped her in her tracks a second time. Mina Lova, the captain, playing the ball back into her defensive area, and a given goalkeeper Rodriguez a touch of the ball. She's hardly seen the ball today, goalkeeper Rodriguez. And they're stirring a competition, stirring a test, stirring a competition ahead for this Cuban team. They're trying to make the most of this opportunity to get 3 points. This is Gonzalez Moya. First touch is such an important part of what you do next with the football, and just now Moya was unable to bring the ball down with that first touch. They've gotten a great deal more out of it. Here's a second half substitute, Hall, not quick enough, ball taken off her. And now Sandoval, one of the Cuban goal scorers, pass going astray. But Mengana is over on the right channel. So the Perez-Mengala combination is still proving to be dangerous for Antigua and Barbuda. And Samuel ball falling favorably for her. Alvarez. And Rachel Ellis was getting away. She was pulled back by Karen Warner, but was not seen by the referee. Very lucky girl. Very, very, very lucky player is Karen Warner. She deliberately pulled back Rachel Ellis. She was lucky in the sense that none of the officials saw it. Mina Nova again asking her players to free themselves and give her passing options. She's forced back, and now she gives the ball away. Whistle on the play, free kick to Antigua and Barbuda. Referee Guzman is not happy with something. She is talking to the captain, and then now gone across to have a chat with the injured player, Kanika Buckley. Holding onto her face. Let's see if we could take a look at what happened here. The left elbow of Captain Mina Lover caught her flush in the face. She's okay now. Good pass by Jadine Brown. There's Antigua and Barbuda. The flag is up. Portia Davis, the captain, was offside for days. Moya. She's playing around with the area, in the ball in her area. Very dangerous thing to do. And free kick to Cuba. Some good pressure there. Applied by Janique Lewis. And his apologies, because we really should have picked up that the Antigua and Barbuda team made a substitution even before coming back out for the second half. So Janique Lewis came on as well. So they've made 2 substitutions. And one was made from the dressing room, which is perfectly okay for them to do. Here's Humphreys. Leaving the ball. Robbed there by Perez, and Cuba lead by 3-0. Calamitous defending here from Antigua and Barbuda. Really should have got that ball away. And I tell you what, Karen Warner, who has been having a brilliant game, took her eyes off the ball for a quick second. You don't do that when people like Perez and Mangana are around, and she paid the price. Look at this. She took her eyes off the ball to see where she could play it, and Perez, very alert, picked her pocket and ran away with the money. Cuba leading by 3-0. A double so far for this woman, the number 8 for Cuba, Maria Perez Torres. $12 goals in 1.5 games so far for the Antigua and Barbuda team. A repair job that they've got to put together now. They first must think about getting something from this game before even thinking of winning it. But football, a funny old game, just never know. But on the basis of what we've seen so far, this could be beyond them. Goalkeeper Martinez Rodriguez taking every opportunity that she gets to touch the football. She doesn't get a lot of it though. So, free kick to Cuba. This is Laura. She's left her midfield area to collect and to start this latest Cuba foray. Turn inside is Lova. Here's a double goal scorer, Perez Torres. This is Alvarez. Moya. Sandoval. Looked at referee Guzman, thought she was checked. Gonzalez. Did she keep it in? No, she didn't manage to. This is a goal kick to Antigua and Barbuda. The Inquisition continues in that defensive area for Antigua and Barbuda. Let's look at it again. Goodness only knows what she was thinking. We know what Perez was thinking, Perez Torres, and that was to get the ball out for. And she did. What was Warner thinking? In a crucial area like that, look at Cuba. Look at the way they moved the ball around on that occasion. This is Warner again, caught in possession for a second time. Only that she didn't pay the price this time around. Not so sure what's happening to her. She needs to be pace or two quicker. It's a crucial area. You don't recover in an area like that. Make those mistakes in the middle of the park. Offside. But not in that very crucial 18 and 6-yard areas. She was burnt just now by Perez Torres. Brown skips away from 1-2. Didn't quite get away from Perez Torres. And the free kick has been won here by the Antigua and Barbuda team. And having used up 2 of their substitutions already. Down the stretch. Maybe not have enough fresh legs to keep their pursuit going. But we'll see how that one plays out. Dakota Stewart with that kick downfield. Here's Damali Simon Ponte, robbed of the ball. She's been bailed out by Tito. Sandoval. Moya. Still Sandoval. Alves is brought into the play. So the Cubans just stroking the ball around at the back of their defensive area with Laura, who is their midfield general, going deep to collect. Now they're trying to let loose Gonzalez over on the far side. Rachel Perez Ellis was also in that as well. We're on the hour mark. Now welcome to our viewers once again. We know you join us all the time, so we want to welcome the viewers on Flow Sport 2. Happy to have your company. This is Perez. No Mora. Here's a chance now for Moya. Cuba leading by 3-0, and really, that could have been 4. Goalkeeper injured in that attempt to stop the 4th Cuban goal. Taking ages to get back to her feet. But Lysandra Gonzalez Moya had an option. She could have played it in if the goalkeeper had made herself big. Right there, she came under a bit of pressure. Probably could have played the ball into the pathway of Palais Ellis, who was in close proximity. The Cubans have clearly changed their strategy. They expect the Antigua and Barbuda team to come out and try to put a lock on Perez Torres and Mengana, who created a great deal of trouble in the first half. And yes, the Antigua and Barbuda team has taken closer orders as far as trying to nullify the combination work between those two. But what we have also noticed then, how Cuba has responded to that. They've pushed Moya forward. That's the number 2. Look at her. Look where she's positioned. She's playing in the left fullback position, but how often have we seen her going forward to a point where she got the very latest opportunity to score just a short time ago? So Cuba has reacted to that. That is Ellis. Now Warner. Again, almost caught in position. Almost caught in possession again. It's happening to her just too often. This is Sandoval. Ellis. Torres. Sandoval. Did the whistle go? It seems as if... No, it's a 4th goal actually. So a 4th goal for Cuba. They lead by 4-0. For a moment, we're wondering if the assistant referee's flag was up, because this seems as if she was in an offside position. Let's have a look at it again. This is Perez Torres playing it in. Wow, that was close. Sandoval taking advantage and scoring her 2nd of the afternoon. And the 2nd came on 64 minutes. It was very close though. So Sandoval with a 2nd of the afternoon coming on minute number 64. It was just too easy. I'd love to have a look at it from a different angle. In the meantime, the Cubans are making their first substitution. They're inserting Yeremis Ramirez. And off comes that brilliant little number 20. Yes, just trying to make sure. Yeah, that brilliant little number 20. Laura Marquez. Here they are again, the Cubans looking for a 5th. Trouble there for Antigua and Barbuda. Still not averted. That could have gone anywhere. In the end, it's behind for Cuba's latest corner. Antigua and Barbuda making their final substitution. So they're going to be bringing in Denicia Wilson. Let's see who will be sacrificed. Player who is to be sacrificed is making her way towards the fourth official. She has some words. So Katie Brown is the player taken off. And the ball has gone behind for a goal kick to Antigua and Barbuda. The players are asking the referee, did the ball not go behind? With the naked eye, I spotted the ball behind. But the referee says, I'm in charge. Please do not shout at me. So she's gone across to have a word with Miss Humphreys. And she's saying, listen, I'm in charge. Even if I make a mistake, follow what I say. But really, the ball, if we could get a chance to see it, did go behind. I think Antigua and Barbuda had a very, very good case. And if they should score, you won't hear the end of it. But it really did go across the line. Here they come, though, Antigua and Barbuda. This is the Mali Simon Ponte. Good holding up the ball. Here's the substitute who just came onto the field, Denicia Wilson, losing possession of the football. Now Cuba stream forward. This is Torres. The ball is in. A chance for a fifth for Cuba. And they got it. Finally the number 10. She's been huffing and puffing. And she has finally blown the Antigua and Barbuda house down. Rachel Palais Ellis. Cuba getting a fifth on minute number 67. So the game pretty much beyond Antigua and Barbuda. And it's now onto damage control. Look at this. Another calamitous piece of defending. Karen Warner was at the end of that piece of mistake again. She went head in and missed all and sundry. And of course, Palais Ellis capitalized and bagged the fifth for Cuba. Substitution. Number 7, Ghana is off for Cuba. She really put in a good shift. And coming on in her place is Danielis Lastre. So Antigua and Barbuda called upon again to do damage control well before the end of this game. So they've conceded 14 goals in a game and 3/4. And it really, really could and should have been more by this Cuban team because they've been utterly dominant. And Antigua and Barbuda yet to really register a shot in anger on the Cuban goal. We remind you that the Champions League group qualifiers continue tomorrow. Unless you've been living in Mars, then I'm sure you know that the Champions League is on Flow Sport. So come tomorrow, Tuesday, August 28th, it's IK Athens versus Videoton. That game to be seen on Flow Sport 1. It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you're in Jamaica. And if you're elsewhere in the Eastern Caribbean, it's at 3 o'clock. And that game will be followed 24 hours later. That's on Wednesday, August 29, by PSV Eindhoven against Bate Borisov. Also on Flow Sport 1, 2 o'clock Jamaica, 3 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time. Torres with a shot from just outside the box. Here's another one coming in. Easy take for Samuel. Control in the middle there. So, of course, you know, Flow Sports 1 is a busy place because a little later on at 7 o'clock, you'll see the Jamaica-Bermuda game. So, once again, welcome to our viewers. For those who are just joining us on Flow Sports 2. We've got a packed schedule this weekend in the Barclays Premier League, which we'll be telling you about and telling you the times enjoying all the sporting offerings that we have for you on the different Flow Sports platforms. Captain Davis handled the ball. Referee Guzman was right in front of her. Here's a chance. This is Sandoval. Is looking for a hat-trick. We've got 2 hat-tricks so far. One from Kayla Taylor from Trinidad and Tobago, and the other from Khadija Shaw from Jamaica, both coming on the opening night. And we've got 2 players on the park right now with 2 goals who are really on hat-tricks. That's Perez Torres and Sandoval. Here's Sandoval right on cue on the ball, twisting this way then that. Keeping possession quite nicely, protecting the football for Cuba. What better player to have it at her feet than the captain, Mina Nova. The ball has been stroked around quite nicely by Cuba. Palais Torres looking for her second. So Antigua and Barbuda really proving no match for the Cubans. And I think the Cubans can safely say, from the Caribbean standpoint, that along with Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, if there's a big 3 in Caribbean women's football, then it's got to be those 3. Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and Cuba. The rest are catching up. The rest are doing their thing as well. But if you look at the progress to different competition, late in competitions and quality and results, you've got to say Cuba is right there as well, along with Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica.
Well done, John, well done.
Ball into touch. And Sandoval with it. Tegan Barbuda still in possession. In the middle of the park. And Moya. Alvarez leaving the ball. She thought that the substitute who came on just now would have gotten to it. Alvarez bringing her goalkeeper into the mix, Rodriguez. And gives me an opportunity to tell you more about the games in the English Premier League this weekend. Leicester City versus Liverpool on Saturday morning at 7:30. That's the game that will open the Premier League coverage for the weekend, and that will be on Flow Sports 1 at 10 o'clock. The same Saturday morning, it's Chelsea versus Bournemouth on Flow Sports 1 as well. Then at 10 o'clock on Flow Sports 2, it will be Everton against Huddersfield. And the 2 more games on Flow Sports 2. Well, one more to close Saturday's coverage at 12:30 p.m. Manchester City, the champions, at the Etihad against Newcastle United on Flow Sports 2. Then on Sunday, the opening game at 8:30 in the morning, Cardiff versus Arsenal, Flow Sports 2, and Burnley versus Manchester United, also on Sunday. That's at 11 o'clock on Flow Sports 1. Good turn here by Torres. Captain Davis, been hustled there by Torres. Bit of breathing space now for the Antiguans. This is Unique Lewis, came on the second half substitute. Just Alvarez. So all the teams were in action in this tournament are winners of the groups that they played in the first round qualifiers. They've all got some quality. And Antigua and Barbuda won their group, where the victory is over Curacao. They beat them by 3 goals to 0. They also won 1-0 over St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they also beat them by 1 goal to 0. So they won all 3 of their qualifying games played at the Antigua Recreation Ground. And the Cubans also were in impressive form. One of their games ended 13-0, another ended 11-0. They were held 2-all by Puerto Rico, which is supposed to only blemish on what they've done as far as the qualifiers are concerned. And so it's all group winners here, all of them. Here's the captain, Mina Luva. Hardly put a foot wrong today. And I suppose you could say that for most, if not all, the Cuban players. Hence, the scoreline that you're seeing graphically displayed at the top left-hand corner of your screen. Nicola Stewart doing well to shield the ball, but she needs a lot more than that. She and her teammates need a lot more than that. Moya. Sandro Moya. This is Sandoval on 2 goals so far. And the Cubans are stroking around the ball with a great deal of confidence. Why wouldn't they? They know they have this 1-1. It's just a matter of not being careless, because you just get the impression that at some point during the course of this week, as we go along, that it might have goal difference being a part of the equation. And that could be the case, because Antigua and Barbuda, they've let in so many goals, and other teams might want to favor getting a lot of goals against them as well. So all of that could play into the mix. That is why it's important, whichever team is on the field, take advantage of the opportunities. And Cuba want to take advantage to make it 6, and they have done so. So 2 goals on the day. So 3 players on the field for Cuba have 2 goals apiece. The latest coming from Rachel Palais Ellis. Her second coming on minute number 77. Cuba leading by 6 goals to 0. Here's it. This is Palais Ellis getting away from the number 5 player, Tittle, and just passing it into the back of the net for Cuba to be leading by 6 goals to 0. So Cuba seeded 15 goals. Coming to the close to the end of their second game. So if you're just joining us and you see 5-0, there you go. It is no. That's the score, 6-0. Moya. They're looking for more. Do they intend on getting a similar score to that of Jamaica? You bet. Ramirez. No. Alvarez. Palais Torres. And referee Guzman had a good handle on the game, by and large. We're in the 80th minute. Humphreys. Long flowing locks behind her. She gives possession away. The chase is on. Humphreys is there, but she's second best on this occasion as Cuba look for a 7th. Humphreys with a desperate tackle. could have gone so horribly wrong for her. Could have. Let's have a look at it again. No match, clearly, for a substitute, Danilis Lastre, who put on the afterburners and left Humphreys for dead. Humphreys coming back in the end to get the faintest of touches. Here is Torres. She too is on a hat-trick. So there are 3 players on the field for Cuba who scored 2 goals apiece. And looking for their hat-trick for sure. Almost like practice session now for Cuba. No sweat. Nothing to worry about. Unless they could be thinking, or maybe thinking, of matching Jamaica's 9-0 scoreline against the Antigua Barbuda team. That could be the next bit of motivation. Because the 3 points already is theirs. Has been for the longest while. This is Humphreys. And in some way sums up the afternoon for Antigua and Barbuda. Not a great deal has gone right for them. Not only this afternoon, but not a great deal has gone for them ever since the start of the competition here in Jamaica. Lastre. Good turn. Torres. Gonzalez. Sandoval. Clever flick over. Looking there for Gonzalez. Kicked over in the area by Nicola Stefika that was. And it's a corner. Take a look. The worse for wear. So she can't wait until the final whistle. She's got a back lawn though. And they've got to do some damage repair. Or damage control, not repair. There's nothing to repair here. They're already under 6. So it's a damage limitation. Prevent further goals. So Maria Torres has played a champion game today and could be, well, must be in the running for player of the match. She's worked her socks off today. Now Cuba will make their final substitution. They're going to be bringing on number 15, Sushel Leon. And off comes the number 2 player, Sandra Moya. So both teams have used up all 3 of their substitutions. Looking for a 7th is Cuba. Sandoval looking for a hat-trick as well. Lastre has an opportunity to start this over for Cuba. Over on the far side is Lastre. Trying to bring in Ramirez into the play that time. And the throw into Antigua and Barbuda. Torres. There's Lastre. He's been given the license clearly to run at these Antigua and Barbuda players. And they let the ball go. Ball played in between the Antiguan defense. Gonzalez. Just as she's about to pull the trigger. Antigua defense came back. Zaylin. Here she is. Lastre picks out Palais Ellis. who goes for a long-range effort. Well done, Samuel. Referee says it's a free kick to Cuba, taken quickly. Well, she's indicating a throw. It's a free kick. One moment it was a throw, another a free kick. Good turn. Well picked up. Decent right-footed effort. Here's Sandoval. Oh. Trying to pull out a bag of tricks there. Something out of her bag of tricks. Sandoval, here she's again. Well, this is Ramirez kicked over. The first yellow card of the game arrives on minute 86. And it has gone to a lady who has had a really tough afternoon, Karen Warner. It's her latest indiscretion has earned her the yellow card. And even though it is Cuba's free kick, it's the Antigua Barbuda player who has gone down injured, Davika Tittle. Referee Guzman is standing over the Antigua Barbuda player and medical personnel. And she has to go. Trying to walk it out. Could be cramps. So Antigua and Barbuda down to 10 players at the moment. They have 2, 3 in the wall. The referee Guzman is calling the wall back. She says 10 yards. Palais Ellis is standing over it. Does seem as if she'll have the leg up on this one. Let's see what she'll make of it. Plays it off to Sandoval. It was a powerful shot, charged down by the wall. Here's a chance for Cuba, though. Gonzalez, right there. Couldn't quite get that final touch on it. Just tugging the shirt there of the Cuban player. Substitution loose. Captain Mina Lovo is killing off a couple of seconds. Keeping possession of the football. The Cubans, they've given up a throw, but clearly they just want to play the last couple of minutes out by keeping possession and starving the Antigua and Barbuda players. So Tittle is back onto the field, having suffered clearly just cramps. She went off after being medically attended to on the field, so she's back to play out the last remaining minutes of this game that Cuba has utterly and completely dominated. This is Susel Leon, who came onto the field about 3 or so minutes ago. Keeping possession. That's what the Cubans want to do now. To play out the last minute that remains in normal time. Humphreys getting the ball from her danger area as the Cubans came calling. Ball run behind for a goal kick to Antigua and Barbuda. So we're in the final minute of this, the third game of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifier here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. Just like to tell our viewers on Flow Sports 2 that if you want to see the second game of the doubleheader later this evening, starting at 7 o'clock Jamaica time, 8 o'clock if you're on the Eastern Caribbean, then you can go to Flow Sports 1 for that game. Goalkeeper Rodriguez. So she could count on one hand the number of times she touched the ball today. So officially we are on 90 minutes. So let's see what the fourth official will add 3 minutes. So we'll have 3 minutes of additional time. Too long for Antigua and Barbuda. Sandoval put in a good shift for Cuba tonight with 2 goals. 2 from Palais Ellis and 2 from Perez Torres. The goals shared between 3 players on the Cuban team. But the rest will tell you that they played their part as well, and they really did. It's a good team effort, very good team play. Here's a chance for a 7th. This is Lastre. She's gotten her name on the back on the score sheet as well by hitting the back of the net. She came on as a second-half substitute and banged in the first minute, the 2nd minute of added time. Cuba leading by 7 goals to 0. Their latest goal scorer, Danielis Lastre. Let's have a look at it. It was Palais Ellis who played in a wonderfully weighted pass. And Lastre looked up. She spotted Samuels advancing and kicked it to the goalkeeper's left. Wailed away in celebration as Cuba increased their lead to 7. 4 goal scorers so far. And a free kick won here by the Antigua and Barbuda team. Bit of respite if you like, because we're entering the final of the 3 added minutes. Ball kicked into touch. Compound Antigua and Barbuda's goals today. You want to see it again? Look at what Lastre did. The outside of her right foot to the left of the goalkeeper. And the Cubans are in 7th haven. 7 goals to 0. And it could be more. Took herself away too much from the goal, making the angle just too acute. And clearly a lot more difficult. Did the right thing by rounding the goalkeeper. Sandoval is asking, right there in the center of your picture, why didn't you pass it to me? And that could have been an outlet, come to think of it. But I'm sure the Cubans did it, and they're still talking about it. But we have come to the end of the game. Cuba winning by 7 goals to 0 over Antigua and Barbuda, who are yet to register a point in this tournament. They've conceded 16 goals in their 2 games. And the Cubans, having been beaten by Trinidad and Tobago on Saturday by 3 goals to 2, hit back today and hit back to deadly effect. They have beaten the Antigua and Barbuda team by 7 goals to 0. Just quickly to run through the goal scorers for you once again. 2 for Sandoval. Lilian Perez Sandoval. She scored in minutes number 25 and minutes number 64. Rachel Palais Ellis, 2 as well. She scored in minutes 67 and minutes 77. And of course, there was also 1 for Lastre and the other goal scorer who got on the double. So I was going to say Trinidad and Tobago. They're resting today. It is Cuba who won by 7 goals to 0. Menanga got 1 as well. So Maria Torres got 1 as well. So Cuba with a wonderful performance today, a brilliant team performance, really outlasting Antigua and Barbuda. Much, much the better team this afternoon. Of course, our viewers on Flow Sport 2, thank you so much for your company. If you want to see the 2nd game of the doubleheader this evening at 7 o'clock Jamaica time, 8 o'clock in the Eastern Caribbean, switch over to Flow Sports 1. Until then, we'll see you.